Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of Let's Play Dark Souls. So, last time we killed the Taurus demon and I showed you guys how to get past the dragon. Anyway, up these stairs right here is where there's a black knight up there, but we don't need to fight him yet. Just like the other one, we don't actually need the Titanite chunk for now, until we need to make a really high-powered weapon. Down that ladder was where you would normally come through after you fight the rats. But anyway, through here, there's going to be quite a few enemies, but you can lure them out each one at a time and fight them one-on-one. I actually end up getting a little bit antsy, and I accidentally lure the boar over here, so I just run through here, and I almost end up dying because of it. But, basically, I was getting, like, really antsy. I wanted to record this video, but, after the first video, something was wrong with it, and so it was really small. And so I think I fixed that. I spent quite a while trying to figure out how to get it to record in full screen, and hopefully this one turns out to be fine. It looks like it's fine right now, and so hopefully when I upload it to YouTube, it'll still be fine. So, anyway, there's a bunch of these spear guys that just constantly hold their shield up, and so I'm really glad I switched to the Uchigatana, because using the scimitar here would be really annoying since you can't kick. There's these alluring skulls up here, which can be useful for killing that boar. I personally have never had much luck with using them. I think this strategy that I'm about to do is much better. So what you want to do is you want to lure him over here, and you want to try to get him into the hole where I'm at right now. Not where he's at right now, where I'm at. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down here, and then I'm going to go back up and just stand up here, and he'll come after me. There he doesn't actually charge, but I'm able to still get the drop attack. As long as he's close and you fall off an attack, you can usually get it, and then usually he'll end up hitting that fire. And this is just the best way to kill him, because what his armor does is it prevents you, whenever you hit him, your sword actually bounces off of him. And so it makes it very tedious to try to kill him with this. You also hardly do any damage, so you just want to lure him over there. In here, this guy's going to try to trick you by just like running through here, and then there's other ones waiting in ambush. So you usually just want to go out into the hole and just sort of back off once you get to the hole, and then just fight him one-on-one. That guy actually got me there. He snuck up on me. These guys are really OP. Like, even after like playing through the whole game, like these guys just suck, because they're really fast, and like they still hit just as hard as everything else, you know, because it's Dark Souls, and so even the weakest enemies do tons of damage. Over here is the mystery key. This is another key that's useless if you have the master key, but I go ahead and grab it anyway. We'll be using it probably in the next video. It's used to free an NPC called Knight Lautrec, but we'll meet him later. Over here, there is a item. It's not really worth it. It's just a large soul of a lost undead, and it's kind of a pain to have to walk across these, but I go ahead and get it anyway. But if you want to grab it, go ahead. It's an extra 400 souls. There's a large soul of a lost undead. This is quite a long area through here. This is one of the longest parts, really, I think, that you have to go without getting a bonfire in between. But anyway, there's a knight over here, a Balder knight, guarding a really shitty shield. If you sneak up behind him, you can get a backstab off on him, because he's actually standing backwards, so it's pretty easy too. Anyway, this item right here is the Knight Shield. A lot of new players think this shield is good because they don't actually know how shields work. I actually thought it was good as well, but it's actually really bad. I'll explain at the end of the video why it's so bad. But for now, you should just trust me that it's a really bad shield and you shouldn't use it. Anyway, going down this corridor. There's two enemies through here. One to the left and one to the right. One's another spear guy to the right, and the one to the left is a Balder Knight. The Balder Knight will usually come running at you because the spear guys play really defensively. And so you just want to like walk out in there and then just back off really quickly. Here I start to try to do the stab attack. The Uchigatana has a thrusting attack, which is its single-handed strong attack, which is R2. And so that can be really useful in corridors, because sometimes whenever there's a wall, your weapon will bounce off the wall. Which is why thrusting weapons can be really useful sometimes. Down here, there's actually a shortcut. This gate actually starts open. And when you come into the area, this guy right here runs back and closes it. He actually doesn't respawn. And then you can open it. However, if you just sort of run through that area when you first get there, you can actually like skip that entire area and skip right to here without actually having to do any of that. That's usually what I do. I just wanted to show off the rest of the area. Also, there are Balder Knights in that room that we just passed by. If you get too close, one of them will come running out, but if you keep your distance, they won't actually come after you. We also picked up the basement key. That key will be used later, probably in like 2 episodes from now or so. For now, it's not very useful, but it will be shortly. So here, you're going to want to go down this path rather than into the church, because if you go into the church, there's just a bunch more enemies, and if you travel long enough, you'll actually eventually make it to the boss. However, over here is where we find a blacksmith, and there's a bonfire. This is also a really good bonfire to kindle if you want to. You'll be using it a lot, so this is probably one of the most useful ones to get up to 10 flasks, just because you'll come through here a lot of times. Here I'm just looking at what shards I have, because now we can finally upgrade our weapons. And so here I'm just going to pop every soul I have. And one thing that's important to note about Dark Souls is it's much more important to upgrade your weapons rather than leveling up. And so if you have the option of upgrading your weapon or leveling up, you should always upgrade your weapon. For one, it's a lot cheaper, so later on in the game when you might be able to level up one time, or you could like max out your weapon. However, even early in the game, it's still much more important, because if you do stuff like upgrading your dexterity, which has scaling and will add a couple points of damage to your weapon, leveling it up will actually upgrade its power a lot more. So you always want to just focus on doing that. Here I just spend the rest of the souls that I got on arrows. I didn't want to waste them since we just popped all those souls, so I figured, why not just buy some arrows. We're actually going to get a bow shortly anyway. Running down here, there's the Prowling Demon, or the Titanite Demon, whatever you want to call him. I like to call him the Prowling Demons. That's actually a mini-boss that appears multiple times throughout the game. We could fight him right now. I'm going to fight him a little later. He's not too hard, but I just chose to fight him later. I didn't really feel like fighting him right now anyway. So anyway, this is Darkroot Garden, or the forest, if you just want to call it that. It's easy to remember. We're not actually going to be exploring everything in the forest right now. There's just a couple items that I want to get, because there are some very good items in this area. So I'm just going to run through this real fast and grab what I want. And we'll come back here at a later time and we'll do the rest of the forest. There's an enemy hiding in the ground right here. I tried to hit him at first. I didn't think it would actually work, just because he's kind of hard to hit whenever he's in the ground like that. But anyway, there's a shortcut here. This is actually how I figured out about this area my first time. There is a secret to getting into this area, kind of. And I'll show that off when we come back, but for now there's just a shortcut you can take right there. You'll want to heal immediately because you'll lose about half your health. And then that guy might kill you if you don't heal. But it's not too bad. There's a tree right here. It doesn't attack you, so there's no real reason not to kill it, other than it wastes time. It doesn't take too many hits though, so I just go ahead and kill it. There's a stone giant at the top of this thing. He's actually not that hard. He's a lot weaker than he looks, so we could easily kill him right now. I just don't really feel like it. There's no real need to. So I'm just going to jump back across, and we just grabbed the wolf ring, which is our first ring, and it's actually my favorite ring in the entire game. It's an extremely useful ring. It gives you 40 poise. And what poise does is it's your ability to take a hit without breaking your guard. And so normally when you get hit, you get stunned for a second, basically. And what poise lets you do is it allows you to take multiple hits / stronger hits before you actually start to get stunned. It's really useful for lightweight armor builds because lightweight armor has 0 poise while heavy armor does have poise. It's also a ring that gets worse the more poise that you already have. So like if you already have a lot of poise from heavy armor, it's not nearly as good. Just because the more poise you have, the less poise becomes relevant. But it's one of the best rings in the entire game for lightweight builds. Down here is another item. There's actually a black knight guarding it, which is why I just jumped down here. And here, I wanted to equip it real fast, but I couldn't find it. So I just tried to get past this guy, and then he ends up killing me. But it didn't really matter. We had used most of our souls anyway, and we just wanted to get back. So it's fine. I'm not even going to go bothering. I'm not going to go bother to grab that. The shield we got is the Grass Crest shield, which is, what it does is it restores your stamina faster. So it's very, very good, especially if you don't like to use your shield a lot. It's always helping you restore your stamina, so it's really useful. So here I'm going to explain why the Knight Shield is so bad. So the initial number you see is the damage the shield would do if it attacked. The actual number you want to look at is stability. So the stability of the Tower Kite shield there is 58, while the Knight Shield is only 56. So the Knight Shield is actually worse. However, it weighs 5.5 pounds, while the Tower Kite shield only weighs 3. So it's a heavier shield that doesn't have as much stability, and so that's basically why it sucks. So anyway, goodbye.